Hey.
No, I was kidding.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
The weather is weird. Fighting back allergies, but we gonna make it through. How are you?
I'm good. And yeah, the weather is real weird. I was telling somebody, I was like, yo, like it's cold everywhere else, and then here it's 75 degrees, and last week it was like in the 30s.
It was randomly like super cold, and then it got humid out of nowhere, and then it's like raining too, which makes it 10 times worse. I was just like, it's gonna rain, just rain that little misty, foggy, whatever that is. I can't. I hate in between. Just either rain or don't. Like, please.
And no, really.
Allergies. Popping Zyrtec. Okay.
No, but thank you for making time. I know we've been pushing this back like every week. I'm like, hey, you ready? And then I'm like, wait, hold on, we're gonna have to push this back another week.
Yeah,
But
it's
we're
okay. We two very busy people. It happens sometimes. It be like that.
well, thank you. And I just want to check in with you um and see how you doing, like how you feeling.
Just like in general,
Yeah, like what's your mental, like what
right
space
now
are you
it's
in?
just like just finishing out the year strong. Finishing out the like, cause right now everything's big like holidays, So
Yeah.
just finishing the year strong, strategizing for next year. Just kind of like letting my ideas come to me every day, just jotting them down when they do. Just the plans that I have going into next year. So just kind of making sure I'm prepping for that. Because I mean, this year is over basically, and
Yeah.
that doesn't mean I have to stop working or working as hard. Because it's like, oh, who cares? The year is over. But it's more just like finishing strong and then making sure I start strong for the next year.
Yeah.
So like one thing me and my friend is always talking about is just like, people wait like, oh, okay, I'm gonna wait till next year to do this. Oh, I'm gonna wait till next month. It's like, let's just start now. So when
Yeah.
that time comes, when I'm ready for it to pop, I'm prepared versus waiting till then to,
Yeah.
get it together. So it's like, okay, next year is in a month. That's fine, but that doesn't mean I have to literally wait till January 1st
Yeah.
to prepare for January 1st. You know what I mean?
Right. Like new year, new me. Like no, start like
Yeah, like so
today.
let's start now. Then when it gets to New Year, you are already ahead of the game. You're already ahead of it. So that's how I try to think of things instead of just, oh, I'm gonna wait till this, I'm gonna wait till that, and it's just you don't have to wait. Let's start preparing now.
No, I love that. And then to people watching, if y'all can see us, hear us, all that good stuff. I usually do an icebreaker and ask y'all where y'all from. But tonight I'm gonna change it up and I'm gonna ask, what did y'all eat for dinner? For the ones that ate, I ate me some tacos. I want to know like what are y'all about to eat? What are y'all cooking? And Bev, have you ate yet?
I, I did. I said, oh wait, been like thinking way back to you. They were saying they like my hair, so I was like, thank you. But what I eat? Oh, I ate a really big chicken salad. It's a chicken salad.
Is it
That's
chicken?
what I ate. No,
Is that
I
really what you
literally
ate?
I had a literal chicken salad. That's what I had. So I don't know what I'm actually with Thomas. I eat like 4 times a day. So I have another like that was my early dinner. I have another late dinner that I need to eat. So it's from just working out a lot. So I eat a lot coming with it. But I don't know what I'm eating for dinner. Honestly, I don't have nothing thawed out or anything. I need to get it together.
Yes, please do. We got chicken tacos, pasta, chicken pot
Ooh, can't
pie.
never go wrong with pasta. Salmon. I love salmon. I had
Let's
salmon
go.
earlier today. Chicken pot pie. I haven't had one of those in such a long time. I need to
Pork
get
chop, that
this
sounds
up.
good. Pork chops and mac and cheese.
I
Man.
haven't had pork chops in years.
Let me start looking at this. But for
Right. Giving dinner ideas.
right, no, I don't eat the
McDonald's.
pork.
Oh no, no, I was kidding.
Curry chicken, veggies, rice. Y'all eat good. That's what I'm talking
Pizza,
about.
salad, I like asada, sushi. Oh, I love sushi too. You eat sushi?
It got to be cooked. It cannot be raw. I don't do raw sushi. Like I don't know, something about like the slimy feel. Yeah, I don't do that.
That's true. That's true. I prefer it cooked, but I'll do raw. It just depends on like what's all on it. If it makes sense, that makes sense.
But I feel like people need an introduction. Some people know you, some people don't know you. So who are you? Like, girl, who are you?
Wow, that's a loaded question. No, I'm scared. I really feel like anybody could write a book about who they are. So let's see. In a nutshell, who I am. My name is Beverly Coleman, but my online names is Curly Bevy and Auntie Bev. And for people that are your actual aunt, yes, I am. But actual aunt, and I'm like, I mean, I did get the nickname before I officially became one, but technically, yes, I am. But yes, Curly Bevy on pretty much all social media platforms. So I'm a content creator. I've been creating content since seriously since 2018, and I also started powerlifting this year. So I'm a powerlifter, entrepreneur. I have my master's degree in psychology, so really love all things psych. So I feel like that's just like an overall nutshell of I can get. And I'm a Dallas native, so I had to throw that in there.
Drippity. Well, we gonna touch on, since you said that you're a content creator, entrepreneur, and you graduated with a degree, a master's degree at that. What made you like? How did you know that you wanted to go a different route, or did you know you wanted to go a different route?
So me, when I was in school, like I'm talking about from kindergarten all the way to grad school, like I was a very educational, scholarly person. Like school, school, school. I always cared about school and sports, school and sports. Like those were my things. So I've always been really, I like. I know this sounds so much like a little weenie to say this, but I actually genuinely loved learning in school. That's just how I was. So I knew since I was little I was gonna get my master's degree. I didn't know in what, but I knew in like fourth grade, I was like, I know I'm gonna get a master's degree. At least. Like, I'm not gonna stop till I get a master's degree. So content creation growing up obviously wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Like social media wasn't, they had like MySpace, but nobody stuff like that, and Facebook, things like that, but content creation wasn't a thing. So heading into college, I discovered that I wanted to do psychology my junior year of high school. So at first I wanted to be a dermatologist. Yeah, that's a lot. Going to school. That's a lot. I want to be a doctor and or a dermatologist, but I ended up discovering psychology and like counseling and stuff like that my junior year. So going into college, my goal originally was to be a family and marriage counselor. So I did undergrad at Tarleton, and I decided to stay at Tarleton for grad school. I was running track while I was doing that, decided not to run while I was in grad school, just wanted to focus mainly on grad school because I really, really wanted to be a counselor. But then I got into the counseling program, and I learned very quickly that I don't think that was the realm of psychology that I wanted to be in. Counseling and psychology, I always tell people they're cousins. They're not very different, but they're different, but they're the same. So there's a lot in counseling that I don't think I fully was prepared of what it was going to be. And it's a lot to be a counselor, honestly. Like I feel like I had to be a special type of person. And I realized what I wanted to do in psychology was not counseling. I'm more of like teaching psychology, like getting these really complicated concepts, breaking them down so that way it can kind of become smaller or just easier for people to understand. So that way they can apply it to their lives. 'Cause I feel like while I was in undergrad and grad school, I learned all these things about psychology, and I was able to like relate it to myself. And I feel like it helped me become a better person, understand things about myself, and I wanted that for other people. So I was like, I don't think I can do that in counseling. Maybe I can do it in research and teaching. So I switched grad programs to research and teaching. So while I was in grad school, I started content creation as a hobby because I wasn't running track anymore, and I was like, wow, I have a lot of time on my hand. Like I needed something like fun to do because I was always an athlete. I started playing sports at 5. So then, you go from 5 to like what, 21, and you just always like your hobby, your thing has always been sports. So I was just like, okay, let me try to figure out what my thing is. So at the time I was figuring out my hair, natural hair, really was in tune to makeup. So my friends was like, you should just do like YouTube videos, just because people were always asking me on campus, like, hey, XYZ. They was like, just be easier if you make YouTube videos. I was like, yeah, whatever, like it's a hobby. So I started off doing it just kind of like whatever because I was busy. I was in grad school, so I was not consistent at all. So I just post videos, every now and then. And then I'll say like summer of 2018, I just really started really liking what I was doing. I actually realized that people listened and took the tips and the things that I was like teaching on my YouTube videos. And I was like, okay, actually I was very surprised that people were actually listening and, coming up to me and like, hey, I saw your hair tip on this. When you did the makeup video and you did this hack, it really helped. And now I feel like my makeup look better. I feel like I'm learning my hair more, and I'm just like, wow, people actually, learning. And I feel like it's building confidence from, because I feel like confidence can come from so many different
Yeah.
spaces. So at summer, I decided to just kind of be more consistent in it. And then I kind of became into it full time on accident because I had quit my job, not for content creation, but because I absolutely hated it. So, like, I was over it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get another job. And I ended up not getting another job. I was down at school. So I had nothing but time to create content since I wasn't working. And then I got like a big break. One of my videos went viral. And it's just like from there, it's been a completely different journey. So going into content creation, it was more of just like, let me just show people like the little things that I'll be doing. Hopefully it helps out, and more of a hobby. And
Yeah.
then it got like real serious real fast, like within a year of when I think my first YouTube video was an eyebrow tutorial, and it's so trash now watching quality, everything. And I was like, what am I doing? But like it helped apparently for what it was at the time. But so I decided after I graduated, because I feel like content creation and influencing and things like that are very um now things, and I feel like
Yeah.
social media is very in the now. I wanted to take that opportunity to do it now, because I don't want to wait like, okay, I'm gonna go and do XYZ and I'm gonna come back to it in 5 years. In five
Yeah.
years Instagram cannot exist, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know like what's going to be in 5 years. So I feel like this was an opportunity to take this and make it something bigger, so then in 5 years like I can do a multitude of things based
Yeah.
off of like just social media, because it does give you a lot of opportunities to reach a lot of people if you have
Hmm.
like positive things to say, in many ways to help people. So that's why I decided to go ahead and pursue this full time. It was not easy at all, especially considering I went and got my whole master's degree. Yes, I like finished. I got my master's degree, and I taught it back and forth whether I wanted to go ahead and teach or pursue this full time. But I was like, my degree is always there. Like I did internships, I have recommendations, things like that. So if I want
Yeah.
to go into that anytime, I have that. But let me take this opportunity to do this as full out as I can,
Yeah.
and like help and reach as many people in this aspect as I can.
Yeah. And so did you like how did you build your brand? Because you started out, creating probably like makeup tutorials, hair
Hmm.
videos. And then
So
how did you find what your niche was?
that definitely took some time, because I feel like social media is always changing what's in, what's not. And also I
Yeah.
feel like over time you learn things about yourself. You get more comfortable with yourself. So I feel like for me, it was more comfortable of showing different aspects of myself. Because it's
Yeah.
like, okay, like now I talk a lot about like wellness, health, and like fitness on my stuff.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah.
was into those things when I first started off, but it's kind of like, do they care or not? You know what I mean? Like you don't know if people
Yeah.
really, care, because I feel like when people do think of social media content creators, especially women, you think of predominantly beauty.
Yeah.
But and it's like, of course, I was into beauty, but I just didn't know if people would receive that information, well. And I feel like you just kind of psych yourself out and you just stick to what people like. But I'll say definitely within the last year, oh, I just stopped caring. Y'all gonna learn everything. We're gonna talk about everything. We're gonna talk about physical health. We're gonna talk about mental health. We're gonna talk about hair, skin, makeup, women's health, like resources for different things that you need. We're gonna talk about all of it, because I feel like all of it is really important, and I think it's important to show different aspects about myself that could potentially, you know, help somebody else. So
Yeah.
I recently, like, I had some partnerships like with not mental health, women's like health resources. And I have, I'll post about it and be like, look out for these, some options. And then, people DM me and like, hey, I checked out what you posted about this, really helped. I signed up for this. Thank you for posting it. It's just like, that's the whole point of it, is
Yeah.
help people find whatever it is that they need. So I feel like as a woman, it's important to show all of being a woman. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's all aspects of health as well.
Yeah.
Health, wellness, fitness, whatever, like hobbies, all kind of stuff. Everything's just beauty. Now I do love beauty, don't get me wrong, but it took me a minute just to kind of almost like hype yourself up and get comfortable with
Yeah.
it. It's kind of like you have to stop caring whether they cared or not. And it's like, but I care. And somebody else, like whoever is supposed to receive this information will. So let me put this out here for people who actually really need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you start, do you feel like you're able to be like your authentic self, or do you think that you have to like somewhat put back some of you to, since you have brand deals, since you have an audience, do you think you have to like cover up some of yourself
I feel
to
like there
maintain
is
that?
definitely a line in just being a little too open and honest with stuff. So I am my authentic self for sure. I would say that I'm not pretending to be anybody. I do have boundaries on things. I'm like, oh no, 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 Miss Beverly would not do that in real life, or I would not like tell people this information in real life, you know. So I
Yeah.
do have boundaries on certain things. I'm just like, but I think some things are important to open up about because it may be like I said, women's health can be very taboo to people
Yeah.
when it's really not. A lot of things are very much normal. People just make it weird to talk about. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me make it less weird for them to talk
Yeah.
about, or them to be like, dang, this is something I've always thought about to myself. I'm glad somebody like said something, gave some resources because this is something that I
Yeah.
needed. You know what I mean? But I feel like I do my best to be. I feel like I think more than anything, I just kind of ask if I do. I just tone down who I am because I be really loud and a lot. My videos, as y'all can probably see, I talk with my hands so much. I just put one in my pocket so I can stop doing this while I'm talking. So I feel like maybe that just, but I feel like for the most part, I am my authentic self. So
That's good. And I feel like a lot of content creators now, they feel like they have to match other people, or they have to, they don't have like,
hmm
nobody's authentic, nobody has their own style. Everybody's trying to keep up with the next person.
hmm
And then the market right now, right? Like it's super saturated with
it is.
entrepreneurs. Like everybody during that phase of 2020 when the world shut down, it's like everybody started a business, regardless if it's hand
hmm
soap, lotion, eye care, anything that you could possibly think of. Everybody got an LLC and was like, hey, we I'm sorry, but I was one of them that got an LLC, so I can't even talk. But I think like so many like it's just saturated. So it's like,
hmm
how do you feel about that? Like how's the competition? Or like do you feel like you got to keep up? Or like what have you been seeing on your end? Because I know you're on the TikTok, you're on
hmm
Instagram. I sound old saying the TikTok. You're
The TikTok, the Instagram. Yeah, a little bit. It's okay. But I feel like it can be hard sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you, just because um it is oversaturated. It's like everybody is an influencer now. Everybody's a content creator, which isn't necessarily, I would say, a bad thing. But a lot of information that people put out there is maybe not the best, or they're just
Mhm.
doing it strictly for a check. Like they don't even care what they're putting out there. And I feel like for me, separating myself, I feel like my audience loves me for me, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
stay that way no matter what. Now it's okay. I feel like to keep up with the times, so you don't want to be posting the video styles that are very 2017 because it may not be received well just because that's not what it is at the point in time. So it's like for me, just adjusting to the trends or the new updates of things, but still doing it in my own way or fashion. So when people see my videos, like they're Bev. So like for an
yeah.
example, for me, a lot of trendy things is like these transitions. I do all that
When
because
they do the walking
I
hand up.
like a lot of crazy transitions, which is cool for them. But I feel like if I started doing that, people gonna be like, "Girl, when Bev started doing this," I mean. But I feel like me personally, I don't have to get my point or information across to do that
Yeah,
because there have been times where I'm like, "Okay, this is popping right now. Let me try it," and I'm trying, and it's not working for me because I feel like
yeah,
this is not how Bev will do it. So
yeah,
I feel like standing out is always just genuinely being myself. I do feel like you have to find what is that thing about you that people follow you. And it could be many reasons why people follow you or come for your advice or information. But I feel like I found things that people, I might have people that come over here for hair advice. I might have people that come over here for skincare or
hmm,
for women's health resources or
yeah,
fitness or anything like that. And it's like within those each categories, just finding the best way to give out that information to people that's very myself. So I feel like it is, I feel like, easy to get lost within
yeah,
all the stuff because it is very frustrating when I see like all this stuff and I'm just like, it's a lot going on. It's a lot to keep up with. And I feel like there can be moments where I do this get discouraged because I'm like, this style of content or whatever right now, video style, is very popular and very well received, but it's just not me. It's just not, some like stuff is just way too quick for me. And I'd be like, I didn't learn anything watching this in 10 seconds. You know what I mean? People's
Yeah.
attention spans are so short right now. And it's a little frustrating because it's like, wait, I want to actually tell y'all about this, like for real, tell y'all, but things have changed so much. So it's like just trying to adjust with, but still doing things your style and your way
Yeah.
too, where it's still like when they come to my page, they're like, okay, this is still like Bev. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's still your brand.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people struggle with is having a brand.
Mhm.
And people use, I think we talked about this earlier, where people use the word content creator and the term content creator and influencer so loosely now.
Mhm.
And one of my friends had told me, like, as an influencer, what do you want to influence? Do you just want to be known for this moment, this time, this
Mhm.
trend, or do you want to be known over time? Do you want to leave a lasting impact? Like, what is your purpose? Do you have a bigger purpose for what
Mhm.
you're doing? And kind of like you saying, like, I want to be able to explore all avenues. I just don't want to be towards beauty or fitness. Like, I
Mhm.
want to do a little bit of everything, which doesn't limit you to anything.
Exactly.
When it comes to like brand deals, collaborating with people, different things like that, like your options are open all the time.
Yeah, I agree. So like I feel like that is potentially the difference between people, like you said, a lot of people be like, oh, I'm an influencer and content creator. And then I go to look at their pages and there are different styles of what content is. And I feel like influencing is, but I always try to tell people just because someone has numbers does not make them an influencer.
Mm, yeah.
And just because someone has low numbers, like people look at following too much to make judgment. So I know plenty of girls that have, 10K or maybe not even 10K, 5,000, and they're really great content creators and influencers because their content is teaching you and you're learning things from it. And I feel like they have great takeaways. And I would consider them have more of an influence over someone who's 100K and they're just posting pictures of themselves and they're getting a lot of likes because people like the pictures. That doesn't necessarily equal influence or content, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So I feel like it now people just see social media as you got followers, you're a content creator, you're an influencer,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's what people like look at it as, and that's literally not what it is. And I feel like with content, there's purpose
Yeah.
behind it. Every post, there is some type of purpose behind it, whether you're trying to help people find affordable clothing, whether you're trying to teach them how to cook something, try this exercise. Each post has something intentional behind it. And I mean, from time to time, I'll just post something like, hey, here's me. That's going, whatever. But I feel like for the most part, like 90% of my postings have some type of in like some type of intentional
Yeah.
something behind it. And I think that's kind of what set people apart. And I always tell people, okay, when people tell me, oh, I want to be like an influencer or content creator, and I just like, okay, why? And the whys can vary like a lot, but a lot of times people's like, well, I want to get paid for it. That is not. Let me tell you something, because I don't get paid for every post, and that is like a misconception. I feel like people see it and be like, "Oh, Bev's, she's doing well. She probably gets paid for every post. Like every time she's showing something, she's getting paid for it." No, I'm gonna say about 80% of my content is unsponsored, but I'm posting it because I genuinely want to show y'all,
Yeah.
hey, this is this. And of course, it's great to get sponsorships, especially with brands that you genuinely do use, or places that you visited, or just like stuff that you actually do, really believe in.
Yeah.
But I always try to tell people, if you're trying to become a content creator just to get paid, that
That
is
ain't
not
it.
a good
This ain't the
I
this
feel
ain't
like
the
if that's
area.
how you're not a content creator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like your sole purpose is to just get paid. If you're making content to just get paid, I feel like it will never prosper in the way that you want it to. So I feel
Yeah.
like when people think of Curly Baby or Auntie Bev, I do like pitch myself to brands as a brand. I am a brand now. Obviously, it didn't start off that way, but over time, I see more of myself as like when I sponsor with brands, more of like an advertising type of thing, whatever. But at the
Hmm.
end of the day, still my videos and my content is a brand within itself. But I think it's all about the intention that you have behind it. So, like, I'll have people and they'll be like, hey, I recently just got a bunch of followers. I think I want to be a content creator. And I'm just like, is it because you just got a lot of followers, or do you actually want to
Have content to put out.
create good, solid content that people are learning from? And I think that's part of the reason why it's oversaturated. People are posting things because They just want to get paid.
Yeah.
That's not how, especially because when I build my brand on social media, that is entrepreneurship, and it took a lot to get to where I am right
Yeah.
now and the stability in it. But I stayed in it when I was broke. Okay, like your girl was struggling. All right, so I was just like, y'all, y'all ain't seen the struggles behind it. I done had some times where finances were, they was down because
Yeah.
you're not, getting paid as much, or like I know for me when the pandemic first happened, that was a lot because brands they were kind of like on the back seat because everybody's at
Hmm.
home. I feel
Yeah.
like people were losing money. Like when it first started, it was a whole thing. So I like when a time period where I was not getting paid, but I was still creating content and
Yeah.
putting it out there because it is genuinely what I like and what I want to do. So I feel like making yourself a brand, creating content, it's all about the intention behind it. I feel like if your sole money for your sole purpose for anything is just strictly
Just
money,
money.
I don't think
Yeah.
you're ever gonna prosper. I mean, of course, like nobody want to do nothing for free forever, But I feel like if that is your sole purpose,
Yeah.
it's never gonna take off like you want it to.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing that people don't understand when they want to jump into the entrepreneur life. Like it's time consuming.
Oh
It's
yeah.
expensive putting money out there. I mean, when I first started my photography business before it
Mm-hmm.
was a business, and you remember I was just shooting people for free. Like I
Yep.
was using gas. I was booking studios on my own money. I was literally putting out so much money. And now I'm making money,
Yep.
but if you ain't got no money to put out there and to invest, you ain't got no content. Like I
Mm-hmm.
feel like, and then even like producing content, there's times when I don't want to do anything. I don't want to shoot. I don't want to make posts. I literally just want to be left alone. And it's like you have an audience that's kind of they come to your page. Some people come to your page because they look for that motivation. They
Mm-hmm.
looking for the new thing, the new hot thing. Like they just want to learn. So it's like you no longer you do it for you, but you get more fulfillment from helping others, or that's at least how
Exactly.
I feel. And like can you like speak on like have you ever had content creator block like
Oh,
where you
all the time. It is probably the most frustrating thing because I feel like I'll get to a point where I'm like, I don't even know what to talk about no more.
yeah
Like, or I feel like things are trendy, they're moving, they're changing so different. It's like, how am I gonna fit in what the things I like to talk about and I like to share into this? And I feel like you do get a creator's block. Like probably the longest creative block I had is a year-long YouTube break. Definitely the longest one because I got so lost within YouTube, that's the platform that I started on. And I feel like things changed so differently on YouTube that I just couldn't think anymore on what to
yeah
put out there or like how what I wanted to talk about or put out there anymore. And so I literally took a year break from it. And I feel like and I focus more on Instagram and TikTok. But lately, I feel like I don't know what happened. That's
the juices
and
started flowing
you it started flowing in, and I feel like I needed that break to kind of clear my head. I think sometimes creative block comes from frustration, and
yeah
I think it is frustrating because I'll see like certain content. I'm like, this is what y'all like. I mean, that's it. This is what I like, and it's like no shade to other people and what they do, but it's just like some stuff to me. I just be like that was necessary. We could have talked about that a different way, but whatever. And so I feel like it's difficult because I feel like creative block definitely comes from frustration for me
hmm
anyways. I get so frustrated in how am I going to do things that I feel like my mind just completely just goes
yeah
wherever. So it is definitely a thing and it's frustrating. I think it's more just working through it. But yeah, the longest creative block I had is this last year with YouTube. But I feel like I had to get back into a space where I was open to like open to letting the creativity flow. But I feel like
yeah
I said, I just needed to step away from it. They can't do that
hmm
with everything all the
yeah
time. But like someone said, like overload is a thing too. It's just so much happening at one time. And I feel like
yeah
you just kind of just be like, and just but you
you gotta
stop.
step back for a
You
minute. You
stop
gotta
and you
step back and
stop. And it's just
recalibrate.
like sometimes we let that like break just go on a little too much longer than it should. If we're being
We-
honest, I feel like that was me with YouTube, but I feel like with creative block, I think it's more just let me figure out what's frustrating me. Let me figure out what's wrong. Then I kind of write down what are some ways that I feel like I can do better in the content that I'm creating. what's
Mhm.
some ways that worked, maybe some that don't, figuring that out. Okay, now what are some things that I want to talk about as
Yeah.
well? And just slowly figuring out what I'm going to do next. Because I know most recently in the last couple months, I had like a block on Instagram. And it's just because the style of Instagram is very different right now. I very much like, I feel like my videos are very, I call them like homey homegirl videos, just very homey,
Natural.
like very natural. I don't feel the need to do a lot in it. I just want to show you,
Mhm.
let's just get to the point
Yeah.
right here. Like, let's just get to the point. So I like when I do my makeup videos, I want to make it seem like a style like you sitting right here in front of me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't do all these special angles and cuts and all that stuff. I just want it to be like you watching me doing my makeup, like you sitting right here. My friends are watching me do my makeup when we're talking. That's kind
Yeah.
of how I want it to be. I want everything to be simple to where you can understand it. So I feel like right now, like I said, everything's very quick, fast,
Mhm.
like, and I'm just like, yeah, like, how am I gonna show you all this? I want to actually show y'all me applying the makeup. I just don't want to show you what I'm using and then keep it moving. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because it's not always about just selling stuff. It's about actually teaching or giving really good suggestions to people. So I feel like
Yeah.
I just recently, probably a couple of weeks ago, got over my Instagram creative block because of frustration. I feel like that's mostly where it comes from me, anyways.
Hmm. How do you like? Because I want to transition to this because I know that this is a thing. Or go back, I guess. When it comes to like money wise, right? Getting
Hmm.
partnerships, brand deals. How do you go about that? Because you can't do business with everybody. You can't partner with everybody. And then I know for me, like when it comes to this podcasting thing, like I'm very picky when it comes to
Hmm.
allowing people in, because it's like our baby, right? Like this is our brand,
Yeah, this
and it's
is
like
your
you
little
mess with
brand.
it and you messing me over. So like how do you go about brand deals, partnerships, collaborating? Like how do you go about that stuff?
So for me, I probably, not probably, I have said way more no's than I have said yeses because one, all money is not good money. And two, I would never put anything out there on social media that I do not truly believe in or like just to get a check. And unfortunately, or to me, if I'm like, it makes zero sense. Like, for example, recently I had, I don't wear any type of contact, prescription glasses, nothing. And I had a brand reaching out to me and they're like, wanting to partner, but glasses. And I'm like, well, how did we come to this conclusion? I don't wear glasses like at all. So what would it look like if I got on social media? It's like, hey, check out these glasses. And they're like, when did Belle start wearing glasses? She wear contacts as she always wore contacts. And it's like, it's given, oh, she just did that for a check. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? No shade to this company, but when flat tummy tea was a thing, I wasn't a fan of their products. And they were trying so hard to reach out to me. And I'm like, okay, the reason why I'm looking like this is because I work out, not because I'm taking
Yeah.
flat tummy tea. You know what I mean? I told them no probably like 10 to 20 times. They was trying it. Every week it's an email. And I was like, I told y'all no last time. And I meant it's a no, you know what I mean? It's not happening. So I'm very, very choosy of who I work with because I feel like if I say yes to everybody, y'all probably see a partnership every single day because it's always somebody that's trying to work with you
Yeah.
because they're trying to make some money. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I'm not working with everybody. If I have to like it, I have to believe in it, and it has to make sense. And
Mm,
those are the
yeah.
things that I go by. Like, so if a brand sends me a product, hey, they want to try it, I'm gonna try it. Like most of the time, like 80% of the brands that I work with, I've already been using, or
Hmm.
somebody I've already like used them before. I've visited this place before. Like 80% of the time, it's already something that's in the rotation of what I do. So it
Yeah.
is like a full circle moment when it's like, wow, I've been using them for years and I finally get a partnership with them,
Hmm.
so it's like it's kind of cool because it's like, well, I've been promoting them for years anyways on my
Yeah.
own or just telling people about it. So it feels good to have them come to me and be like, hey, like, we see you, let's
Yeah.
work together. So that to me is full circle moment. But if it is something newer and I've probably heard of it before, I've just never got a chance to try it out, we're doing a try now trial period. Because I have definitely had a couple of times where somebody sent me something, I didn't like it. For example, I had a makeup brand that really wanted to work with me. Okay, send me the products first. And I need to try it out for a couple weeks to see. And their
If it
makeup
works.
skin out. And I
Yeah.
was like, we ain't kicking it because why would I get on Instagram and be like, hey, y'all, look at this. And my skin is secretly breaking out just for a checker to get paid. No, I'm not gonna tell people. It may not break their skin out, but it broke mine out. So I'm not gonna put it, on there. So
Yeah.
if it is something new, I do prefer to try it out and get a feel of it for like a couple of weeks and just seeing how I'm liking it, because partnerships don't work in a day. They don't reach out
Yeah.
to you and then next week the post is up.
Yeah.
It'll take a month or two sometimes for a partnership to close out. So there is time if there is something newer that I'm trying out, but I'm very particular about new things. Like for example, hair is, I feel like, something that I don't want to promote a lot of different bunch of products of, because I'm not using these products every day.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm very strict about my hair partnerships. I'm only working with brands that I actually use. I don't want to get on here every day and be like, hey, try out this. And I just used it one time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I want them to actually see the stuff that I'm using. So I'm really, really, really picky about who I
Yeah.
work with. And if it's a new brand, oh, you better believe I'm on your website looking at the ingredients, and I'm reading and I'm researching you, and I'm going and I'm looking at your Google reviews. And if you're in here, I'm watching you. So it's just I'm looking at you like I'm not looking. I'm like, oh, okay, they seem cute. Mm-mm. I've had a couple times with different brands. I looked at websites of the reviews, and folks is talking. I said, "Oh no, no, no! I can't get deep with this. You can't work with me. I don't even want to attempt it." So it's like they
Yeah.
are new. I'm definitely doing my research into it. So
Hmm.
before I even be like, "Okay, let's see what they're talking about," you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So pitching and collaborating is a very lengthy process working with brands, but I do encourage, not encourage. Don't say yes to anything or anyone that's
Yeah.
not putting in your face. I feel like their brands are banking on that sometimes. That people are just
Hmm.
like I said, if you're going into content creation influencing with the wrong intentions, then those are, I feel like, the type of people that they're looking for to work with.
Yeah.
Is just say yes to anything. So I
Yeah.
don't know if you've ever been on somebody's page. You're like, what kind of partnership is this? It makes
Yeah.
zero
They don't
sense.
even do that.
Yeah, it's like that's random, but okay, like you know what I mean. I don't ever want someone to look at my partnerships and be like, "What Belle doing?" Down, like yes.
Yeah.
I want them to be like, "Okay, this is on brand for her. This is, even if it's something different." Like this year, I started posting more of my fitness content, and I
Yeah.
integrated that in organically, so that way, like if I do have some fitness partnerships, it makes sense. Versus off rip, the first fitness thing I ever posted is a partnership, and they're like, it's given she did it for money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So definitely way more no's than yes.
Do you think like
You have to
when
have some type of standard morality for yourself, something like you have to have something for yourself. You just say yes to anybody, you will not last very long at all.
do you like negotiate? I don't want to get into like the personal, but like when it comes to how much they're paying, do you ever feel like you're being lowballed?
Oh,
Uh,
all the time. So luckily for me, in the last 2 years, I got management, and that has been a game changer. So my managers are two amazing Black women, and I'm signed to a influencer content creator agency, which they manage. So they help us with strategizing, they help us pitch, negotiate, like keeping up with everything. So the CFG, shout out to CFG, love y'all. But so I'm signed to them, and everyone on the roster is like Black, Afro Latina, like minorities. So they specialize in basically getting like Black and other people of color out there, getting the prices that you deserve, getting the opportunities that you deserve. So I feel like before them, it is hard on your own, pitching yourself and
yeah.
managing yourself, because it's like you don't know what to do. It's kind of hard standing up for yourself, because it's like, well, what do I say? And like I say, it's like you want to get paid, you want to make money, and it's like, oh, this would be a good idea, but they're banking on you not knowing your worth. And
Yeah.
that's something that it took me over time. When I think about my prices when I first started, and I had some really good engagement. Whenever, like, after I had went viral, I had some really good engagement, and I could have been charging way more for my
Yeah.
time and my talents than I was. But it's like, you live and you learn. But my management, so how it basically goes is they are in charge of pitching. So, they have the resources and things like that, and they'll go and pitch out. But, if a brand is personally reaching out to me, I'm like CC'd in the emails, and I'm watching, and they're going in like, no. She needs money for exclusivity. You're paying her for usage. You're paying her for, a reshoot fee. If you ask her to reshoot the content, and they're really going in with the prices. And sometimes I sit back, I'll be like, ooh, they said, I'm like, oh, when the prices change. I'm like, I know they didn't even tell me, I know my rates went up, Having management really does like help, like I said, two black women just because they get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they get the struggle. And I know like one of my managers, I want to say maybe back in early 2021, she wrote an article about, like that, where it was like what black creators want brands to know. And it was like,
Hmm.
about like being have more diversity within your
Yeah.
brand and equal pay and things like that. So because I've had some brands say some crazy things to me when I give them my prices. And I've literally had brands, I'm like, yeah, so these are my prices, XYZ. And they'll be like, oh, well, so and so has more followers than you and they charge us less. So and it's just like, well, one, I'm not so and so. And then two, well, I'm sorry that that's what they're doing over there, but that's not what I'm doing. Because they'll try to get you.
Yeah.
It really, I feel like they're banking on you. Or like sometimes these bigger brands, like, hey, we're so and so. They're very big, well established brand. And they're banking on you just being excited to work with them. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's cool. But I also need my time and work paid equally as to someone else that you would give it to.
Hmm.
So it is a struggle. I'm not going to lie to you. And it's something a lot of black creators we talk about. And everybody talks, sometimes, maybe what somebody else prices are or, the opportunities that they gotten. And I'm just like, that's really, really interesting. Seeing the
Yeah.
difference of sometimes with other people that not black and they're getting these opportunities and these rates and you're just like that is so crazy because my work is just as good as theirs.
Yeah.
Look
Or my
different.
engagement's more than theirs. I
My
get
engagement
more.
is different. And it's like they will sometimes pay somebody more who has less engagement than you if they are of a different skin tone. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of it is frustrating. And I think me and my management, we're doing really hard. And I've said no. It's like I've had some brands. It's like I would have loved to work with them, but
Yeah.
the prices you are tripping. I know my worth, and I will say
Yeah.
no if what you are offering is not either very very close or equal to what I'm asking. Because there'll be some times where like their thing is always budget, budget, budget. Oh, budget allows this.
Yeah.
If they really want to work with you, they will. They have the budget for it. So I've had some brands and we're like, well, this is the price, buddy. I don't know what else to tell you. And they're like, okay, okay, okay. We really want to work with you. And they're just like, no, or like said, so and so's price is this. Goodbye, because there's
Yeah.
nothing left to say. Because you're going to be hounding me about all these pieces of content. You want to be exclusive to you for weeks that I
Hmm.
can't work with any competitors, and you want to use my content for a year for
Use my
advertising.
page, keep it on
Yeah,
there.
and it's just keep it on my page, and it's just like, but you're low balling me. I'm going to say no every single time. I don't care who you are. Okay,
Knowing your worth.
got to know your word. It's a process though. Like I said, at first I was like, dang, this is a really good opportunity, but I would love to be paid more than this. And I will admit that at the beginning, I did take some stuff that I definitely should have been paid more for sure, because it's just like you're trying to get yourself out there. You're
Yeah.
trying to establish these relationships and partnerships with these brands because then it will sprout into other things. But I would say definitely within the last year, having management definitely has helped me better advocate for myself.
Yeah. Have you ever been like censored? I know I be on TikTok just late at night bored. And I've seen creators say like, hey, my stuff has been censored because I'm talking about, a popular topic. And I'm talking about like every video they getting like 100,000 and this one topic they talking about gets low engagement. Do you think that platforms are doing that?
I've definitely seen that a lot, and it is kind of annoying because you're just like, what does this mean? You know what I mean? So I definitely have seen people get censored or like what is called like shadow banned
Yeah.
or things like that, which that has happened to me before, unfortunately. I remember, I think on Instagram, I had like did a post and I was speaking on like Black voices, and it got like taken down by Instagram like after 2 weeks, and it was weird because I was just like, I don't know, it was weird. And I speak often on being like Black and proud and Black in what I am doing. So I like that's something I'm never gonna like stop talking about. But it was just weird because it was like a very detailed post, and I don't know, it was just
Yeah.
interesting that like they deleted it, and I was like, it's a lot of stuff on Instagram that should not be on Instagram that y'all need to be worried about. People are
Yeah.
twerking on here. Like, let's talk about that. So I was just
Yeah.
like, that's what we need to focus on taking down, not me
Yeah.
speaking on my experience being a black woman. You know what I mean? And I feel like even sometimes when you post certain things, speaking on your experiences, you do get like a lot of people in the comments saying crazy things and stuff like that. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, but
Hmm.
I have seen creators, other black creators too, that are on either TikTok or Instagram, and they're like, "Well, that's weird that they took this one very specific video down and censored, and then it's like from their account, the rest of their videos kind of shadow banned, and
Yeah.
people are no longer seeing it for a very very long extended of time. It's not being pushed out there for people to see."
Yeah. No, and I want to go to like the being a creator, like there it's not always there's some negatives that go into it,
Yeah.
like people
Nah.
come the negative comments, the
Mhm.
people that just be on there just to say something, like keep it moving. And so like just do you think that it messes with a lot of creators mental health, or like I know there's been times when I've received some not nice stuff like on this platform, on a professional platform at that, comments about race, this and the other, and it's like I shouldn't take this personally, but I'm human, and so I'm taking
Yeah.
it personally, and it's like at that point that's kind of when you kind of want to step back and be like, why am I offended by somebody that doesn't pay my bills, that doesn't put food on my table, but I'm offended by it for some
Yeah.
reason? Like have you friends that have taken a step back because they just the mental health, the mental part of it, they weren't strong enough for it?
Yes, I always tell people like they think content creation and influencing is very cutesy, but if you do this like for real, and full time, and like I say, very intentional, there is a lot of like random hate comments and crazy people just coming out the woodworks, and I feel like it can be very discouraging to people a lot of time because you're not used to it. You're walking around, no one's randomly coming to you and be like, "Hey, I don't like your hair," just so you know, and then walk off. But it's like they're on social media and they have this area where you don't know them, they don't know you, they don't have immediate access to you. So they're just like, well, I can go say something crazy to them, and there's nothing that they can do about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do think mentally you do have to be strong in order to, because the internet has a lot of people on there. You can have random people that you will never meet or even be close to meeting in your life coming and saying, crazy things to you about whatever it is. So it's just like I feel like you have to have that mindset of remembering the reason why you're doing, and also the positivity that comes. I feel like for me when I first started, and my videos started getting attention, here you get a lot of positive attention, but here comes the negative attention as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like at first I used to give too much attention to those negative people. So like I was telling you, I would just say crazy things back to them. And if you're going to build yourself as a brand, you literally cannot do that. And that's something that I had to learn over time. But I also had to be like, why am I letting this random stranger get me worked up when there's a literal block button and a delete button?
Yeah.
Utilize those
Yeah.
for sure. And that's something that I did because it's like, hey, I don't have to see your negativity. So you know what I'm doing? I'm gonna block you. So that way you can literally never come here again, say anything crazy. So
Yeah.
that's something that I do. You're either getting deleted or blocked. And that's how it's
Yeah.
going for me. But it is mentally a lot because, like I said, it's just all these random people. And especially if you have a video that kind of gets a lot of attention, like say you have the
Hmm.
positive, but you definitely have the negative that comes with it. And for me, just in real life, installing
Hmm.
confidence in myself and what I do is what keeps me strong. So when people are saying something negative, I'm like, anyways, whatever you there. But also, I think it's important to focus more on the positive audience that you have. Because I feel like naturally, as humans, if we can have five compliments, but as soon as someone says something hateful, we're going to run over there and be like, "What'd you say?" And not
Yeah.
address these people that just told you something positively. You know what I mean? I feel like we forget about
Yeah.
that. So that's something that I, over time, had to learn, and for myself, but also my positive and my great, like the great audience that I do have, they deserve that attention from me. I should not only be replying to negative comments, I should be thanking people or answering their questions in the comments, or just replying back to them that genuinely want to either learn or that likes your content. And it's just like, those people who are negative, delete and block. And that's something
Yeah.
that I've done. But it can be mentally exhausting and it can be overwhelming with the amount of people that's talking to you at one time.
Yeah.
It's the internet.
I was about to jump into that.
Yeah.
How do you ever have? I know for me, being on a professional platform, being doing the work that I do, people believe that they know me. Like we're
Yeah.
BFFs. Ain't never met you a day in your life, my life. And they pour so much of them out to me, and
Hmm.
it's like I'm taking on a burden in a way because
Hmm.
I could be going through stuff over here, nobody ever know, and now you're throwing your problems, your situation onto me. I can't help you. Like I'm a normal person
Exactly.
just like you. I pay rent on the first, um, everything like that. And so, like, do you have those people that they feel since you put so much of yourself out there? Do people feel connected to you and feel like I know a lot more than probably what she thinks I know about her?
Yeah.
This, that, and the other.
And I think that's when it comes from like people specifically reaching out to me, just setting boundaries. Or I have things that I will specifically answer about, and some I will not. So like I love people who reach out to me asking like about grad school questions or psychology because I'm always down to help with that because I'm a stickler for education. Let's go get that degree, girl. So like those are like questions that I'm always going to like answer and do my best to answer, things like that. But sometimes for me, like a quick thing is if it's a question they have and I've already answered it in the video, I'll just send them a link to a video to kind of just, I still want to help, but I just try to remember because I feel like I used to be overwhelmed with trying to answer every question in every DM. And it can be a lot, like talking to all of these people at one time, overwhelming. And I feel like I do want my audience to feel connected to me because sometimes I'll be out and about and people are like, hey, I follow you on this and wow, you're the same that you are, and it's like, oh, I like this and I love that about you and da da da, and it's like, wow, thanks, like, that makes me feel good that like
Yeah.
when you see me, like you're getting who I am, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then it's like they're like, wow, you're even more like fun and positive and nice and whatever in person. And it's just like I love that. But like I said, I do have boundaries of what I share and what I don't share at the same time because it's like some things I don't open up about too much because I don't think I would be in a space to talk about that or give advice about that
Hmm.
right now. And it's just some people are just a little bit more sensitive than others, so they're a little bit more willing to pour themselves onto you. So I feel like I take it case by case of what
Yeah.
I see of what somebody's coming to me, but I was really like overworking myself because I was like, you can't be a counselor too, at
Yeah.
the end of the day. So just setting kind of those boundaries for myself on, what I'm gonna answer, what I'm gonna not answer, what I'm allow, things like that. So definitely setting boundaries. Like I do my
Yeah.
best to try to help as many people as I can. I just have to be okay with not being able to help everyone. Because
Yeah.
they're like, it's like you want to say the world or just be like, I just want to do what I can, but it's like you don't also want to like kind of poop yourself
Yeah.
out trying to like overwork yourself for people, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, and that makes sense. And like being an entrepreneur, I feel like you're always on, especially if that is your sole job.
Hmm.
You're always on. Like when do you have time to take a break? How do you take care of your mental health? How do you shut down? How do you separate? Like how do you take time for yourself and turn off sometimes?
Hmm. So for me, like I definitely make sure that outside of social media, I am very much happy. I'm very much sane and I'm very much okay in real life because I don't live for social media. I just show social media aspects of my life that I feel like that would help. But I don't want it to be like, oh, on social media, I have such this perfect life. And then like I'm just like going downhill or it's just like my mental, I'm spiraling out of control, in real
Yeah.
life because I'm so focused on making sure I have the appearance. It's like, no, if I'm showing healthy habits online, let's make sure that we're healthy in real life too. Like,
Yeah.
hello, you know what I mean? So for me, mentally, just keeping meditation for sure. Definitely like to meditate. I actually have like a mindfulness tattoo that's like a part of meditation and things like that. Staying present in the moment, not worrying so much about what has already happened or what's going to happen. Because that's something I used to like worry is about like things that I either couldn't change or I
Yeah.
didn't even know what was coming. And I feel like I was so out of touch of what's happening right here in front of me. So I feel like meditation helps me. Like I said, you're worried about what videos am I gonna do next? What am I gonna talk about next? Oh my gosh, like how am I gonna go about this? What am I gonna do next week? What am I gonna shoot? And I feel like I'm
Yeah.
just everywhere. And I was like, let's actually just focus on what are we going to do today?
Yeah, in the
Get through
now, in
today.
the present.
So I feel like meditation helps. I do a lot of like essential oils as well. Part of that is because I have chronic migraines. Really sucks. So I have chronic migraines. So essential oils, I feel like they make me really tense physically, my migraines. So for me to relax, I took a lot of time in figuring out holistic ways to deal with my migraines, so I can be more productive and so I can be more relaxed as well. And migraines also do not make you very happy as well.
Yeah,
So a lot of essential oils. I'm trying to think of some other things. I like to go get, just like small treats for yourself, massages, facials, things of that nature. That's not something obviously you do every day, but you like once a
yeah.
month. Let's take a day to.
Treat
I just
yourself.
need, my neck massage. That I just need a facial, or even sometimes some daily things that I do is like a really good skincare routine for me.
Yeah.
That like is what makes me happy when I wake up in the morning. Wake up, I'm like, I'm so ready to wash my face today. Like, I know this skincare routine is bomb. Okay. So it's just like small things like that, like small daily things that make me happy. So like I said, for me, first thing is washing my face and
Yeah.
using products that I really love. And it's like now, ooh, I feel radiant, my skin is glowing. What are we moving on to next? One thing I do is try to make sure I don't eat crappy as well, because I feel like food definitely affects mood for
Mhm.
sure. So it's just like if you're always just eating like too much or foods that are not good for you. Because I'm not like on a strict diet or anything, but it's just like let's make sure I'm eating enough throughout the day, and what I'm eating is good things, because I do feel like food affects your mood. And also just watching things that probably cause a lot of anxiety for me or make you more anxious. So for me, something I had to slow down on was like caffeine.
Yeah.
And I feel like caffeine made me like weirdly anxious more than I wanted to be. So that's something that I slowed down on. Is and I also noticed that it would make my chest hurt a lot. So I was like, okay, let's prioritize our health. It's just not hurting like that. Something I realized was my caffeine intake. So that's something I slowed down on. So I feel like there's like small things that I do every day. Like I said, skincare, going to the gym.
Yeah.
Going to the gym definitely is like the best thing ever for to me, anyways. But going to the gym and working out, and I feel like that's just like a change of environment, especially because I work from home. So
Yeah.
like something to do is just getting out the house. Even if I am going to Target to walk around, let's change the environment, because I feel like it can get just overwhelming and a lot working from home. And I feel like sometimes I have like moods of being unmotivated because it's like I'm just tired of being in here and working. Let's go
Mhm.
check our environment real quick. So like just a little small things. I feel like I don't have like necessarily like a ritual, but
Yeah.
just making sure that I'm tuned. And also I have like not talk to myself, I'm not talking out loud to myself, but just like times that you spend with yourself where journaling, I do
Mhm.
journaling too. So that way I can kind of like talk to myself and figure some things out. So I do try to make sure things that I talk about on social media, I'm doing in real life. Like currently, right now, a lot of people are dealing with seasonal depression. And something that
Mhm.
I've been trying to tell people is like, get you a light therapy lamp. Like
Yeah.
small things like that. So I like use mine while I'm working to, it gets dark really soon. So I feel like your motivation just kind of
Yeah.
plummets, during this time. So I just, a lot of honestly, the things that I show people, those are the things that I literally do in real life. And I do them almost on a daily or a monthly, depending on what the activity is. If it costs some money, we're going to give it. But if it's, just small things, like I said, things that build your confidence, that make you feel good, make you feel refreshed. I drink
Mhm.
a bunch of water all day, because water, just drinking water makes me feel like I don't know. I don't know. I guess I tell this to myself. It makes me feel like I'm glowing, like I'm feeling good. It makes my body feel water like will give you energy if you're drinking enough of it. So those are like the things that I do for myself. It's just implementing certain things in my daily routine to make sure I'm feeling my best self. Especially like I feel like a lot of this is in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm not a morning person, so I
Yeah.
do things in the morning. Just not. But
Get your day started right.
to get my day started right, so I won't wake up and be like, ugh, like I don't even feel like doing this. Or it's like
Yeah.
sometimes you wake up and I feel like your mood is weird.
Mhm.
Let's get that out. So I feel like it's okay. I also have my days where if I'm down or I have a lot going on, let's accept that. Let's dwell in that for a small amount of time. Let's figure it out. Let's figure out a solution, and then let's move forward. So I do my best not to dwell in like negative emotions, and that's part of
Mhm.
what meditation is learning how to channel those negative emotions and figure them out in a healthy way. And then it's just like, all right, now let it go. Let's not
Yeah.
dwell on it too much longer. We've addressed it. We've talked about it. We figured it out. Now let's let's move forward and stop worrying ourselves about things that we can't control. So
Yeah.
that's for me the things that I do.
No, I love all that, and it's great that you still have like that self care. I feel like a lot of people get lost in social media, get lost just in everything that's going on that we forget to take care of ourselves a lot of
Yes.
times. So it's amazing to know that you still do that. You
I feel like
continue
that's
to
what
do
I want
that.
my channel to be. When people see beauty on my channel, I want them to see it more as like confidence and self care. Like
Yeah,
in a way, I want them to see it like that. Because it's like when I'm doing these things, I'm doing them for myself or to either make myself like I said, skin healthier or building that confidence in myself. Because it's like I done flicked my eyeliner right or something like that. So that's more how I
hmm,
want them to see beauty. It's not like I feel like the traditional way of people will see beauty, which I feel like they see it very surface level. Or oh, you
yeah,
just want to look good. You know what I mean? It's like no, I want to feel my best self. I want to feel my most confident self.
yeah. No, I love that. And I know we're at an hour, and I know y'all probably got other stuff to do. Um, but I want to say thank you. Finally, we did it.
We did
Thank
it.
you for coming on and talking about content creation, entrepreneurship. I feel like that's huge right now, and hopefully helping somebody like figure out if they want to even jump into content creating. Before this conversation, they may have been like, that's where I want to go, and now they like, let me reconsider this because this
Yeah.
this may not be the path I want to take. But no, thank you. Do you have any like plugins for like I know you gonna start doing your YouTube, you gonna start
Yes.
doing your
So
podcast,
pretty
like
much everything on social media is Curly Bevy. On TikTok, it's the Curly Bevy. But you type in Curly Bevy on pretty much any social media platform. I am on there. If you go to any platforms, well, like I have the link in the bio, and it takes you to literally everything that is about me and like my little mini website. But also, if you are somebody who have looked into entrepreneurship and like content creation, video creation, those type of things, and you like you're really seeking some advice, I don't mind helping people that like this is something they really want to do. They're just trying to figure it out. Definitely hit me up. I don't mind. I'm not no mentor or anything like that. Like people ask me for mentorship, I'm like, I don't think I'm at that level yet, but I don't mind answering people's questions to the best of my ability or like asking them some things to kind of figure out which direction they want to go into. So you can always send me an email too. It's just curlybevy@yahoo.com if you have some questions. If it's easier to send an email or you have some longer questions, just send that and I would definitely do my best to help out.
well, thank you, and I'm pretty sure the audience thanks you. Thank you everybody that tuned in. If you didn't get the chance to tune in, just run it back. But thank you again, everybody. Thank you, Bev. And until next time, everybody have a
Bye
great night
y'all.
and be safe.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
Good night.